So just like I talked about in the video prior to this one, I talked about how Nietzsche thought man was something that should be overcome. His analogy that he uses quite a bit was a man walking across a tightrope. And from point A is the man he used to be, or just general modern human. And then as he walks across, he's meeting his optimal self, his optimized self. But underneath that tightrope is the abyss, and in that abyss is all the things that hold him back. You know, social pressures, family pressures, religion, all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that really, like, he clings to, his personality clings to hold him back from becoming the best, the most wholesome sense of himself. And a way that we do that in our everyday life is by actively suppressing half of who we are, half of the poles that are inside of us. I'm namely talking about the masculine and the feminine, and I truly believe that in modern man, in modern human, we are actively suppressing the feminine side of, or the feminine pole of the two. And we can see that clearly in the last 100 years, where we have multiple men who actively suppress their feminine. Men like Hitler, Stalin, Lenin, Mao, guys that would be more than willing to kill tens, if not hundreds of millions of people just to achieve their aggressive agenda. We're seeing it now in even females who are trying to suppress their feminine essence, their true core, because they want to climb the ladder. They want more money, they want better cars, they want bigger houses. The role is starting to become, okay, masculine. The entire world is really starting to push in this direction, and not starting, but because it has been for a long time, ever since the inception of like wars, weapons trades, and turning competition into enemy, and nuclear weapons and buttons that can just blow up half, if not the entire world. You know, that's a masculine push. And it's not just men that are involved in that. Women are actively being involved in suppressing their true essence at the moment too. It's really important to recognize that the masculine and the feminine isn't just man and woman. Like, males can be super feminine and women can be masculine, but I think at the core we need to realize that we need both. You know, a prime example of a male integrating his feminine essence is JFK in 1962 for the Cuban Missile Crisis. He knew he was surrounded by super, like, highly masculine dudes, and he was a masculine dude himself. He was a kind of guy that would actively go out and he would enjoy multiple sexual pursuits with different women other than his wife. He was the picture of toxic masculinity, but he knew in the moment where it was like the tension was the highest between Russia and the States, that he needed to really detach himself from the masculine environment, and he did. He left his subordinates and went off by himself, looked inside, and really just activated his internal feminine, his Athena. You know, like Athena was the goddess of wisdom, of strategy, of grace, but she was also the goddess of war as well. So she knew how to be in a war environment, but she was very strategic about it. And she saw the picture, like the world as a big picture, not just in its individual parts, which is a very masculine thing to do. The individual parts. Feminine energy is big picture. So what Kennedy did is he detached himself from the masculine for a moment and really activated his Athena, really activated his strategic, his graceful, his feminine energy. And what he realized was that, like, if he engaged in a nuclear warfare with Russia, it would be the demise of the entire world. He wouldn't just be taking out Russia, and Russia wouldn't just be taking out the States. Like, there's a global consequence for his actions. So Athena, his feminine energy, just told his masculine energy to call up Khrushchev and be like, man, like, if we do this, it's going to be the end of it all. And that's what he did. He called up Khrushchev and was like, bruh, if we do this, millions of people are going to die and we're going to have no land to rule. And Khrushchev was all like, we cannot have this. I want to sip vodka on the beach. No, he wouldn't sip vodka on the beach because he's Russian, but you get the point. Kennedy, in activating his feminine to really work with his masculine, he was able to integrate his whole being and not just be a split person. Something that I think we need to be doing more often right now. I think a lot of people are actively suppressing their feminine side and all their masculine side, and it's not healthy. You know, if we suppress the masculine too much, we end up with a whole bunch of bitchy and catty teenage girls just floating around, just being passive aggressive to each other. And if we suppress the feminine too much, we end up with guys like Hitler or people like Hitler and Stalin and Mao and Lenin. You know, we need to integrate both. We need to work out what our true essence is, and then figure out a way to allow the opposite, the polar opposite, to work in our favor. And that's what Kennedy did, and that's what a lot of people throughout history have done successfully and have become super just holistic. And I think that's what Nietzsche is talking about in becoming the Übermenschen, the Overman, the Superman in some translations. It's the person that is whole, is complete. And I think that's the only way we can successfully cross the tightrope and not fall into the abyss of all things that hold us back. Anyway, that's just me. Let me know what you think, and yeah.